Howdy, folkses, and how you doing, Gap, since you're in the chat? Before we start with anything, Chris was telling a story prior to the stream starting, and I want to give him a chance to finish the story because it is semi-political, I think.
Yeah, it might be,
and it might be related. It might be related to one of the other things I'm going to bring up. So go ahead, Chris.
I was just talking about a local Walmart here in Kansas City where a family, which, as I was saying, I don't know what their social or ethnic disposition is because I didn't really hear that part. I have a funny feeling based off of the world what it might be. A mother and two boys, older, not young, were going through the self-checkout lane of a local Walmart. And as they were leaving, they were stopped by one of the greeters or somebody. And there was an exchange back and forth about, well, why are you stopping us and this and that. And ultimately, what happened is the cops got called and both of her boys ended up face first on the ground and handcuffed, supposedly to the family. And I have not fully.
You said older, but how much older? Like,
14 to 17. Let's just say 14 to 17. It sounded like.
So teenage.
Yeah, teenagers.
Teenagers, but not like super older. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
And so basically that happened. And at some point they claimed that, and I don't know when in the exchange, that they said, check our stuff. What are you stopping us for? And ultimately it came down to, I think there was like one or two items, and they were small items, and it wasn't like they had only 4 items or something. So this isn't your typical stack 6 things, scan one thing, and try to act like it's one thing. Which there's lots of things people try to do at self-checkouts. Anyways, Walmart
not me
has no, but that's the thing. Some people do, and I understand. So I do understand their concern with self-checkout, but they got let go. The mother's furious. Lots of people around here are furious. There's talking of a lawsuit. I think the Walmart has released one of their stupid, we're sorry, but we're concerned about losses and all that. And this is where I think it ties into your story. When we were talking about it with some local radio DJs who do talk radio, I was talking to them before they went on air about this because they were talking about it. We were all like, it can't be with the way they report losses from self-checkout, their claims of how much they lose from self-checkout, it cannot be cheaper to keep self-checkout and not hire a 9-to-5 person for $14 an hour to scan it for us, because then and so it's maddening to think that they don't hire people for something that they say they have such a huge problem with. And also, I think that perpetuates that they don't care about the people coming into their places, because how many people get arrested for that? So that only helps put people through the legal system more, which is already backed up. And like just by hiring 10 checkers and knowing how to schedule them properly, you could alleviate millions of dollars of problems.
Well, okay.
Hey, sorry, I want to say something about that real fast, because that actually happened. That actually happened here.
I just want to say this is relating. We were kind of talking about the fact that in the month of November we lost 30,000 jobs, and I partially believe it's because Walmart is not doing seasonal hiring again. So that's why Chris brought that up. Go ahead, Elihu.
Yeah, this is the same issue that Target has here in San Francisco and Safeway. People, the stores are complaining that they were doing losses because of shoplifting and people manipulating the scanning. So their plan was to eliminate all self-checkouts in San Francisco and hire security ISP in security theft prevention. That is bullshit. People are still stealing. The stores are still reporting losses. This is the way for people to basically.
Well,
the store's still going to lose. There is a flat amount that they're going to claim every year, because it's just like anything else. When you budget for the next year, in that budget, you are going to claim losses. Those losses are based on the year before or a year before that. So like 2026 loss.
So do they have like evidence that this is
Well,
losses
hold on.
because of self-checkout? Because fuck, I love self-checkout. I'm
Okay.
sorry. The lines are so much faster because the store I go to has like 20
It
self-checkouts
depends.
with two people, assisting.
Uh,
And I can just get
Danny
things
Lyon.
so much quicker.
Because I'm a merchandiser, I have, especially at a company at a big box store like Walmart, even though I don't work for Walmart. The problem is the number that Chris is reporting is they call shrink,
Yeah.
and it's any and all losses. It has not. It's not just that.
That's what I'm saying. Do they have any way of isolating out?
What's the point of doing that?
Yeah, they don't necessarily do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, say they had like consistent.
So what happens is
5 years,
every
and then they
quarter,
installed the machines, and then they had double the shrink. That would be like evidence that it was probably because of the.
Well, here's the thing. The way they calculate their theft losses and other shrink losses,
Yeah.
Is partially due to the fact they do inventory every quarter.
Right.
Where a third party company comes in, and in fact, I used to work for that company, even though I didn't do the inventory, and they count up every item in the stores.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the shelf or in the back room or in the outside storage containers.
Yeah.
And they judge the number that's in the system versus the number that they counted, and they report any discrepancies as part of their theft losses.
Who was this? Oh shoot!
Yeah.
No, this is up here. This Walmart situation was up here. Huh.
Yeah. No, my
that.
only thought was like if they had consistent losses for the last X number of years,
Now,
maybe
share the video.
You can just hold on. I want to tell the story about one of my stores real quick. But like for instance, and I know I've told the story before. One of my stores a few years back here in San Diego closed. It was Parkway Plaza. It was one of the few 2-story Walmarts in the entire country. The reason the store was closing, ostensibly, according to the news, was due to high theft. Now, I know because I am allowed in their back room, I can see their little bulletin board where they have all their numbers reported. And that store had lost about $1.2 million due to shrink. Now, that's not theft, but that's the number that was reported on Fox News here in San Diego.
Right.
Now, I can tell you, a month prior to that, prior to the store closing, that store, due to a computer error, accidentally ordered $30,000 worth of inventory from one of our clients. I was sent in to facilitate the buyback program. So basically, it was our client was going to buy back that inventory from Walmart at cost. The only thing Walmart would have to pay for is the shipping back to the manufacturer.
Right.
So instead of losing $30,000, they were going to lose about $5,000 in shipping costs.
Right.
Instead, the Walmart hired another company, $2,000, to take all $30,000 worth of product to the dump.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was because it was literally cheaper for them to do that, and they get the tax write-off for that shrink loss.
Yeah.
And that tax write-off was worth more than the $3,000 they would have saved, or the $3,000 they would have saved from the difference between the buyback and throwing it to the dumpster.
So it was possibly less shrink and more incompetence.
Well, as I said, it was due to a computer error.
Right. Okay.
Now, I know that $30,000 was a part of that 1.2 million.
Right.
So
I mean, that's still a lot. That's still like just under $1 million, or that's still a lot of money.
And Gap, you do bring up a good point. Sometimes they do, but the problem is it has to be it's a trade-off. Doing the auction still costs the store money.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're just not willing to do that. And this was during Christmas time. where the store did not have the personnel because, again, last year and since COVID, essentially, they've not been hiring seasonal workers.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to do that because it was just not cost effective. Furthermore, like some of the stuff I deal with every week is I literally throw thousands of dollars worth of product into the trash every single week.
Yeah.
On the amounts of about between $100,000 and $200,000 worth of inventory every year.
Yeah.
Based on the size of the store. And that is calculated as part of their shrink losses. And the reason I have to throw it in the trash is quite literally reselling it, donating it, recycling it, all costs more than throwing it into the trash.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate.
And the tax write-off for throwing into the trash makes it more worth for the Walmart than even recycling it or donating it. And yeah, it really is, but they don't care.
That's the whole thing. The system has been set up to be very wasteful.
I mean, when we had a call with the client that does one of our things, we one of the questions I asked was why can't we just recycle this product? It's very recyclable. I don't want to say what it is because of the client.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically said, well, it would cost the store. LDG can bring himself up. It would cost the store about $100 a week to recycle that product.
Says he can't.
Sorry. Oh, he can't? I wonder why. I did not kick you. I did not do that.
What did I do? I as soon as I came in this morning, and I can't. I'm not a part of Team Vile.
Florida man.
I didn't do that. I swear.
Well, I mean, obviously, it didn't happen itself.
Well, but it could just be StreamYard being stupid.
Yeah, it could be StreamYard.
This is not like YouTube. It's not like YouTube, unsubbing you from a channel. This is like a setting sitting on a database.
Who knows?
And okay, so as I said, it would cost the stores about $100 a week to do that. Now, if you want to do the math on that, $100 per store per year would be $5,200 a year times the 15,000 stores they have in the U.S. That's $78 million.
Yeah.
So even though it's only, and that's how it was explained to me, yeah, it only costs the store $100, but it costs the company $78 million.
Yeah.
So that's why they won't recycle.
Yeah. Kind of part of the problem with like a profit-driven only model, right? Like sustainability is always a little less profitable, but in the long term, it's more profitable for society as a whole. But unfortunately,
well, that leads into the whole
not how we roll, I guess.
That leads into the whole like you said, profitability versus sustainability, but not just that, but there's lots of ways to combat a lot of things that go on here in the world. One of those being hunger of poor people or homeless people. And one of the things most cities do is if any food is ever given away after it's cooked, they'll come in, they'll bleach it, they'll throw it away. The health department will stop it because they say that it's illegal. And so these barbecue competitions and stuff, you throw away thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds of food, and competitions and festivals and your sports stadiums. They throw away hundreds of thousands of pounds of food every year. That if you just set up something on the far end of a parking lot somewhere and say, okay, you have 3 hours after it's cooked to keep it warm and get it to this location, we could cut down hunger in our homeless community and people without food or who have a problem with getting food. You could cut that down severely if your health department would just figure out a way that they find it acceptable. But because of money, That's one of the problems with capitalism. I'm not going to sit here and go after communism or other things like that.
There's definite benefits to capitalism, but
this is one of the problems.
However, in the same token, you also don't want to people to get sick.
One of the things I want to add to, like when I was talking about the recycling versus the trash, when we first got the contract, the product we were talking about was recycled.
Yeah.
The reason it was recycled was because through the EPA, Walmart received a tax credit for things they recycled versus threw in the trash.
That's what I was saying. It's government incentives or regulation that will force
during Trump's first presidency. He put a guy in charge of the EPA who got rid of that tax credit.
Yeah, see, that's unfortunate.
So because he got rid of that tax credit and Biden's administration was too fucking stupid to actually re-implement it.
Well, they had an awful lot of shit going on too.
I know, but they should have reinstituted it, but they just couldn't get anything passed. And yeah, so that's why we don't recycle it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully someone, I mean, and here in Canada, a lot of municipalities regulate what goes and doesn't go in trash, even commercial trash, right? Because a lot of our landfills are close to capacity. Like I know Edmonton, for example, they went and they actually spent quite a bit of money on their waste management. They put in a compost facility. You don't even have to separate your greens and your regular trash, because most of your regular trash is either like recyclable or compostable. So they just basically, it arrives at the facility, all the bags get torn open, anything that's like a coat hangers and metal bits and things like that can't be composted get pulled out. Everything else just goes straight into the composter, and all the non-compostable bits kind of get pulled out as it goes, like along the process. So I don't know. The only thing I'm concerned about that is like the resulting compost might not be the best shit in the world for your garden. It might be a lot of weird crap like.
Well, but and my point was this: there's a way to do it. They just don't want to spend the time to figure it out. Like you said, well, they don't want people to get sick. I call BS on that. I understand that's the guise of it. But the thing is wait a minute. You go into some restaurants and you check temperatures for half an hour to an hour just to make sure they're doing everything right. Can we not figure out? You say, listen, you have to apply and say, listen, this is a barbecue competition, for instance. We're going to be cooking all this food. If we plan to give away the food after that we don't give out or whatever to homeless, we're going to do it at this location at this time, and then you apply for that. They say, okay, charge $10 for that application. I don't know. Now, and then I don't know if they still do it, but when I worked for Pizza Hut back in college, anytime that an order was canceled or the person never picked up their order, all those pizzas were not thrown in the trash. They were put in the freezer, and the toppings on the pizzas were listed on the box.
Right.
And once a week, we would have a company that came out to pick up all of our pizzas and took them to local homeless shelters.
I don't think they do that anymore because I think they claim health department issues.
That necessitates those nonprofits that are going around collecting it to make it worth your while to do it. And sometimes those nonprofits aren't getting enough funding, right? They need the volunteers and they do need some funding in order to make that viable, right? So we part of the problem is if there's not like organizations, right? Like here we have things like Meals on Wheels, right? And that would be the kind of organization that would pick up all those frozen pizzas and then take them to the right place to get them like distributed. Or somewhere else would, we do have a bunch of like different things, but a lot of these like nonprofit and like volunteer organizations, like I don't know if you have Project Rudolph there, where basically it's like pairs of people and they take their own vehicles. They'll come pick you up from a party if you end up over drinking, and they'll drive you and your vehicle home. They couldn't get enough volunteers to keep that project going.
Oh, that sucks.
Recent years, right? So
And I just looked it up. Yes, Pizza Hut still has this program up. It's something called the Harvest Program,
Nice.
partnering with the Food Donation Connection Program, and
Okay.
the initiative's Hut to Heart.
Okay,
Yeah.
but my point there then is obviously there's a way to do it, but I find it funny that they won't figure out a way for everybody to do it, because it's like,
Well,
Yeah.
and again, there probably
And-
is a way for everybody to do it, but maybe like those big barbecue festivals, they don't have a deep freeze
they've
veggie
asked,
available that they could
because
freeze it.
it's every time they do it, it's a news story. It's like, and
Yeah.
they're like, listen, we want to do this, but they won't tell us how to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's, again, these are problems with bureaucratic and capitalistic things. Granted, again, capitalism is not the problem per
And-
se, it's just one of the problems with it.
I just wanted to add to it. Apparently, this is something all the Yum brands still do. That includes Taco Bell, KFC, A&W. So they all participate in this, and apparently, it does cost the company more money than it earns them through tax write-offs.
But if,
I'm sure it
if
does.
it's well advertised, then you get a certain amount of goodwill, right? Like knowing that does make me feel slightly better about going to one of those places, which I never go to just because the food is terrible. But you know,
Well, I end up taking my kids to freaking Taco Bell all the time because it's one of the few places they will all agree on.
yeah. No, I definitely win out on not having kids as far as where I get to go.
I don't think I've
Well,
had
here-
Pizza Hut
Well,
pizza
here,
in a
here when
decade.
it comes to restaurants and other places donating food, it's actually up to the individual business itself. There's no city coordination for mass distribution of excess food to the homeless or seniors in buildings. It's up to individuals and churches.
Yeah.
Because when the SNAP program stopped, one restaurant's like, okay, I'm going to donate food. That's it. Period. People heard about this. They decided to give the guy money to help out. He wanted to do it out of his own pocket because nobody would help the city. I was like, I'm going to hand out free food to EBT users. That's it. They cannot go hungry. This is my finances, my business. People heard about this. They gave him money. After the EBT thing got off, he had about several $1,000s left over. What do you do with it? He gives it to the food bank.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I
So it's
donate-
actually up to the individual restaurant itself here.
yeah, I donated.
According to go back to the original topic about the job loss, according to what the government actually said, they said that a large portion of those losses were not due to non-seasonal hiring, which is what I think it primarily actually was. They're blaming it on jobs lost due to AI, which I think is funny because they didn't. Elihu, did you send me something a few weeks ago about they voted not to regulate any AI?
Yeah, states to regulate. Yeah.
So they refuse to regulate it, and then we lose. They're claiming we lost 30,000 jobs due to them.
I think that actually just got overturned in the Senate. Didn't they vote to because it was an executive order and they voted to overturn that executive order? I believe it was the regulating AI. I could be wrong, but I believe that may have. I thought I heard something about that. I could.
Chris, do you want to check?
Hold on.
Yeah, I got a gelato, Jess. So you guys got to check, please. I got a gelato. Be right back.
I don't know what you guys are talking about because it still says in here that Trump has called for it to be regulated. He does not. What they said is that they don't want anything. Trump especially does not want individual states to do it because then that might mean that there's a jump off from one state to the next. What he thinks they should do is for the country come up with a set rules of, and I laugh at it though because one of the things, like for instance, that they said is that most states that have any regulation against AI say you cannot use a public figure and you recreate that public figure in AI. And so I was like, well, how is he ever going to get outpost if he can't make himself AI?
Yeah.
I mean, because then wouldn't he be breaking his own law if he did that? Or will there be a law stating if it's you and you're a public figure, you have every right to do it? But at that point, too, aren't you perpetuating something that's a lie?
Now, I want to reiterate, this is actually the AI description from Google.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the U.S. is actively moving towards AI regulation, but it's fragmented, involving a landscape with federal agencies, existing laws, and state-level efforts, creating a patchwork. Though recent federal actions aim for a unified, lighter touch approach, potentially overriding state rules and focusing on only high-risk areas like safety, competition, and existing consumer protections. But no single comprehensive federal law exists. Guidelines or executive actions have been implemented.
Okay.
So basically, they say they're going to do it, but they're not going to do a lot, and they haven't done anything yet.
No, I mean, it's just like healthcare. They're going to fix healthcare. They have a plan.
It's only 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
It's a concept of a plan, dude. Concept of a plan.
Trump knows what he's going to do to fix healthcare, but he won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
That's been the Republicans.
He's only had 10 years.
No, that's the thing. But I said this way back then is that the Republicans are like, we're going to tear down Obamacare and all that. They're like, we're going to tear it down. It's horrible. Da, 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 da. And my first question was, okay, fine, do that. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And they have yet to answer this. They have no plans. It's like, you guys have been talking about tearing this shit down for years, and you still don't have a plan. First rule of this is, before you want to destroy a building, what are you going to do with the space where the building's at?
Chris, and I'm going to go a little bit off topic here. This is the same party that just tore down the one of the wings of the White House, and still has not submitted any proper blueprints for its replacement.
No, because now
there's a lawsuit about that now to prevent them from just going ahead and building whatever the fuck they want.
Well, the architect that he hired and the building man, or the project manager that he hired, has already told them, this is too big because it's bigger than the freaking White House.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. It's the aesthetic, the look of it. What do we do? Why does he have a right to do this? And he uses the guys.
It's not his house.
My point is that's my first point. My second point of this is that he has a right to change and make improvements to an extent, but he tries to hide. He tries to act like, because he's going to pay for it himself or from somebody. The guy has no concept of what a rule is.
No.
All right. But let's jump to the other subject, because we've already been on this for a half an hour, because we started with slightly off topic. I want to talk about the school shooting real quick, because one of the things I saw almost immediately after I got the alert for it was someone from the U.S. State Department tweeting that it was obviously this well-known left-wing podcaster type person who happens to be trans. And the thing is, they're not trans, and two, they weren't, they weren't the shooter. But
did they catch the person yet? I know when I went
a person of interest is in custody.
Yeah, when I checked, I literally checked right before 15 minutes before the stream.
Okay.
And the news report that they'd been caught was only 7 minutes old.
Okay.
So, person of interest. They don't know if it's the actual shooter yet, of course, but
right.
Conspiracy theories already abound.
Of course.
There's always a conspiracy theory shit.
The funniest one for me was because Brown University has canceled all winter finals. Someone was like, "Oh, it was someone who just wanted to cancel their tests."
They killed people to cancel their tests.
That was one of the
murders are finals are murder.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what's bad, and I've said this for years to an extent about these situations is they used to be, we gave a crap about them and we talk about them, and yes, the gun control thing would pop up and then that become another argument. But now, instead of even worrying about the gun control problem or coming up with a solution of what we can do to try to stop this, I'm not a opponent for gun control on the side that most people are. Yes, something needs to be done, but I don't know about taking guns off the street and stuff because I'm not sure if that's really going to do anything. But it's gone from that discussion, and we feel bad for the people who are involved and the families and all that, to now school shooting. Hey, the guy is trans and he's a liberal, or she's a liberal, and it's like, wait a minute, we don't even wait. Like,
no,
there's no waiting, so there's no concern anymore for these victims.
It was, and I hate to both sides this because I hate that argument, but people are already saying on the left it was a right-wing Trump supporter, and the right they were saying it was a trans far left Antifa person.
And my question really always is,
to it, it's obviously a very troubled person, whether their political leanings are only like tangential to this. The problem is that somebody thought the solution to a problem was to take a gun to a school and shoot people. I mean, who knows? Maybe they had maybe they were actually like trying to kill their ex. Like maybe it had nothing to do with anything political whatsoever. Right?
That's why I hate these knee-jerk things. I want to wait until the evidence is presented. Stop assuming.
Yeah. Well,
is that why the mayor of Providence made a statement that said, quote, not to trust any news that isn't released from official Providence sources because the president of the United States spreads misinformation?
Probably.
Yeah, but you're not going to get any help. You're not going to help the situation by saying that, because that's
I know
that's just going to inflame him more. That's the problem. It's like, this is no longer about people. This is just about political agenda on both sides. I hate to say it.
Yeah,
it is strictly, oh, it's this person, oh, it's that person. This is the problem. This is the problem. Can't we wait like a week for this conversation and just talk about 2 people are dead, 9 people are wounded?
People want to start jack shit and get engagement. That's why.
I understand that. But see, that shows you the problem with our politicians right now is they're not even thinking about the people that they're supposed to be thinking about, the people that put them where they're at. And that's why our government's as broken as it is, because the people who are put in place to be the voice for the people don't give a shit about the people.
Yeah.
And that is across the board, folks.
Yep. Oh,
that is leaning.
Not everyone. Some
nobody
people don't care.
Okay. As I've always said, you can walk in with the most altruistic viewpoints and want to honestly help the country. The second you walk in to Congress in any capacity, that's a reporter, that is a the people that help read these bills, that is the senators, the House of Representatives, all these people, the second you walk in there, if you stick true to those altruistic views, you will not be there very long. It does not work in this system. You have to play the game with everybody else. That is why, and I bring this up all the time, that is why our government's so effed, is because you have a president who doesn't give a crap about how things work. And I'm not saying he's altruistic. I'm just stating that if your viewpoint is so far left field of what everything else in the middle here is, this is what you get. You get chaos within a system. And so we have to find a way to fix that chaos.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but I'm just saying, we've taken something that used to be,
the possibility also is that they're not entirely focusing on all of the real problems, right? Like the whole thing, like a lot of the focus is on like deporting brown people, basically. And maybe a lot of those people are just here living a quiet life, working a job, not causing any trouble. And because they've put so many resources into that, all the shit that they could be keeping an eye on is just falling by the wayside, right? Espionage, these kinds of people who are like maybe posting a bunch of crazy shit online before they go to a school with a gun, right? Like, why aren't they trying to find these people before these things happen? Like, why are you deporting a guy who's like weeding the garden?
You know, Dandelion, that comment actually is kind of interesting because I talked about the boat strikes. the latest one, they said they know exactly who was on the boats. That's where they struck. But yet they don't know exactly who the fuck is in the country right now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why they're trying to get the IRS tax records. That's why they're going after people who are actually going through the process of getting their citizenship. I mean, what's their name? I was watching C-SPAN. Sorry, sometimes I watch the C-SPAN. And it was the interview with Kristi Noem where they bring up this particular person was not a violent criminal. The only crime they'd ever committed was they bounced 2 checks 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in the process of getting their citizenship.
The army guy.
They were arrested at their swearing ceremony to become citizens, and under the guise of they were criminals. So now they're being deported.
Well, the problem is, I believe last year Biden deported 638,000 people, and Trump this year is like at about 600,000 people. So the numbers are lower than Biden, and so they don't want that. So they need to like boost the numbers to try and beat Biden's numbers, right?
Well, that's why they're trying to beat that's why they're trying not to have to go to court.
But the real problem is,
the problem is
there's that many people that need deporting. They built a problem that's not actually that much of a problem.
Well, here's the problem, Dandelion. They're not focusing on the amount of people they're deporting per se. They're focusing on the number of arrests that each person, because that was what each agent was told, was you need to have this number of arrests per day.
Yeah.
Because originally it was like 4 arrests a month, and now they want like 2 arrests a day per agent. Yeah. And since they're focusing on arrests, a lot of the people they're arresting, I've heard reports anywhere between 30 and 80% of the people being arrested are American citizens.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Like, honestly, like, even if there wasn't a bit of a tourism boycott against the states right now, I wouldn't try crossing the border.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my passport expired, but I, keep thinking, I should probably get it. Cause I mean, like sometimes they're like, oh, you should go to the trade shows. Right. But now I'm like, no, I wouldn't do it. Cause I'd be traveling on a British passport for one thing. And so they might do that whole, we need to check into 5 years of your,
they are doing that.
Oh yeah. 5. Yeah. Elihu sent me was it you that sent it to me, or was Miss Vile? One of the two.
Either or, like, yeah.
When you cross, you now have to give them your last 5 years of email addresses or 10 years of email addresses, all your social media accounts.
It's 5 years. It's 5 years of your social media posts, any past phone numbers you have used, any addresses you have used.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what's social media?
Any social media, all social medias. I want to manage all social medias. X, Instagram, Facebook.
Hey, officer, what's social media?
Facebook, through social, Instagram.
You're not getting the joke.
What's social media? How are they going to enforce something that you can't prove a person has?
Oh, like for instance, are they going to go like
deny you entry for not providing information?
But you could then go to court and say, I don't have it.
Well, hold on. I like, for example, most of my social media is not me myself. It's my YouTube character.
Well, there's that too. I mean,
or it's my eBay store.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do I need to tell them that? Because my eBay store is not me. I don't care what the government says. My eBay store is not a person, even if it's incorporated.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know that Antifa is considered a domestic terrorist organization, but this is viral video going on. This is viral video going on online about 2 guys who tried to turn themselves into the FBI, and the FBI is like, "Yeah, right, go leave, just get out of here."
Well, not only that,
the FBI is not even doing this.
It's a terrorist organization where they have not listed a single person that is a known member.
Yeah.
Look at my bio.
Yeah.
I'm anti-fascist. I'm proud to admit I'm anti-fascist.
I will say right here, both the Vile Mike character and myself, as my real name, which I won't say, are anti-fascist.
I know your real name, but I won't say it.
Yeah, my father was anti-fascist. My grandfather was anti-fascist. It's inherited in me. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right, for the last 10 minutes, let's focus on the possible war with Venezuela.
Oh,
Because now,
God.
okay, a lot of the right wingers I do follow honestly believe that there's going to be a regime change in Venezuela at at the behest of the United States. I don't know who we're supporting down there right now.
I believe it's the lady who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, but apparently there's some questionable. There's some questions about her, but that I believe that's who they're looking to install. That was what I heard on, I don't know if it was the Bulwark or somewhere like that, or maybe Lincoln Project, one of those people.
Yeah, but the Lincoln Project, as much as I like some of their anti-Trump stuff, they are still a right-wing organization.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and they're not in support of the whole Venezuela thing at all.
Okay, yeah, so
they think it's just like H.W. Bush all over again, which they would know because they were there.
I got some information on that oil tanker that was seized.
Go ahead, because as I said, for the next 10 minutes, we're talking nothing but this.
Okay, the skipper and the crew was the skipper and none of the crew was reported to be Venezuelan citizens. The ship was not headed. The ship was allegedly headed not to Cuba. 50,000 barrels of oil was supposedly offset, and all personal items from the crew was confiscated. Nobody's being released. Let's see. Where is it? Most of the oil was supposedly going to China. China hasn't made a statement yet.
Okay, because I don't know much about the ship per se. Was it going to be going through the Panama Canal?
No, it was not going to the Panama Canal or going through the Panama Canal whatsoever.
Then it's not going to China because it's going to cost them way too much money to go around the Cape of the Cape Horn.
Yeah, Drake's Passage.
Yeah, I was like, it's either Cape of Good Hope or Cape Horn, and I couldn't remember which was Africa and which one was South America.
Okay,
So,
Russia is upset about this because Russia is friends with Venezuela. Cuba is friends with Venezuela. They're upset that this happens.
Is Venezuela part of BRICS?
No,
it's not.
Not anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, if we end up going to war with Venezuela, we got to remember Russia's friends with Venezuela, and so is Cuba. Cuba is so close to the United States. So is fucking Russia. China's friends with them.
I don't know why they decided to pick on Venezuela. I mean, doesn't Trump love dictators?
Trump said that ground troops will be starting.
No, wait. No, Dandelion. No, he does not love dictators. He loves dick.
Yeah, Trump stated that ground troops will be starting soon, but not when. And everybody, even a couple Republicans, are saying, why is he not going through Congress? Because Congress can only officially declare war, not the president.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a quote-unquote war on drugs. A war on drugs does not implement U.S. ships going into a foreign country.
Yeah.
Okay. According to the website Russia pivot to Asia.com, Venezuela is not a full member of BRICS. It is a inactive participant.
Okay.
And they do attend the meetings, but they don't have any voting or anything like that.
Okay.
So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes. Nope, that makes sense. Makes sense. All right, I have to go because it's getting light enough for me to go feed the chickens. And there's currently a break in the rain, so I'd like to go and do that before I get soaking
Absolutely.
wet.
Hopefully we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I might just sit in the chat for the next one, but we'll see. Because I don't always watch all the shows you guys are watching, so I haven't seen Stranger Things since.
That went quite fast.
So
yeah.
Okay,
but Elihu, you sent me something about the potential carrier group that's going to there, and something about they're already flying FA-18 Hornets.
Yeah, they are, and they Flight Radar 24. People have been tracking this, and as soon as military basically gets to the border, the transponders are turned off. The only Navy plane out there is a weather plane, but everything else is just empty airspace.
That's standard.
Yeah, and there's
Here's the thing.
supposedly one aircraft carrier, about 5 battle cruisers out there right now. Where is it? I sent you that image of what they're planning on doing, dude. Where the fuck is that? Where's Mike? There you are. Can you share the screen?
I cannot share my screen. Well, no, I think I can actually.
Okay.
And Chris, if you want to redo the thing, I can play the video as the last thing before we go.
It's not important.
Okay.
I think that our issue with all this will be this. We didn't learn from Vietnam. We didn't learn from Korea. If Trump goes in here, it's going to be a spectacular failure. No matter what happens. I'm not saying we're gonna be stuck in another Vietnam. There's no point to be there. You know, I would be much more supportive of the idea of just throwing money at rebels in the country to have them do it than to send U.S. troops down there. Truthfully,
like
all
we
we
did in
should
Cuba.
be doing, well, we tried that, but no, I'm talking about other places where we've done it. But I think, honestly, if you're going to do anything down there, you send your boats down there, you send your planes down there. We don't need troops on the ground there. There's no reason for it. Do all this by drone. You do all this by flying and dropping bombs where you want, things that, you don't go on land here. That's a bad move.
Well, there's no way in hell that they can do bombing runs of any sort without injuring massive amounts of the civilian population. And while I don't think that this administration cares about that, it's going to look bad and further negatively affect United States standing within the world community.
Oh yeah.
And I'll point to the fact that on the what was it, yesterday or the day before, the UN resolution to protect humanitarian workers. 8 countries abstained from voting, including Russia. 150 some odd countries voted yes. Only 1 country voted no.
Yeah, I wonder why America voted no.
Yeah, it was the U.S. voted no against protecting humanitarian workers.
Yeah, and just like I vote, U.S. and Israel was the only countries voted no to condemn the considered massacre that's happening in Gaza. Gee, I wonder why.
Well, even Israel didn't vote yes; they abstained.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just kind of amazes me that what's the what movie was it from where you have the fascist Nazi regime people and one looks at the other and says, "Are we the baddies?" I think the U.S. is becoming the baddies.
Top secret.
I don't remember it. Listen, again, this came out of nowhere. It's so funny because he's talking about Venezuela is where all these drugs come in. Hey, folks, we've done the numbers. It's China that's bringing in most of the stuff, but we won't touch China. It's like,
well, except for fentanyl, most of fentanyl comes in through Mexico.
Less than 1% comes in through Venezuela.
Wait. But it comes from China.
Well, that's the thing.
To Mexico and then shipped up. And that's the thing. It's like you can't just go someplace and say it comes from here because 90% of the countries that
okay. We're going to talk about that. I want to talk about this real quick, Chris, because this is one of the funny things that when they did a chemical analysis on some of the fentanyl seized at the border of Texas, it was fentanyl that was produced in the United States, sold to South Africa, bought by Russia, sold again to what was it? I want to say Colombia or maybe it was Venezuela. I can't remember. And then transported from there all the way up through Mexico to back to the U.S. border. So it was our own fentanyl.
I don't know how. I'm sorry. Do you guys understand physics? Because how does a so-called swift boat with a total mileage of 112, 115 miles, 130 miles can go 2,000 miles on one fuel?
Do what?
These so-called swift boats that PK breath keeps on attacking, saying they're drug smugglers that can allegedly go 2,000 miles from Venezuela to Mexico, but there's no place to refuel. They run out of gas. I'm like, well, I don't understand the physics of that.
Any sense.
Yeah, I don't understand the physics of that, man.
There's ways.
But we are at 750, and I need a Geloja before the next stream, so I will see you guys on the CNA stream. And anything you guys want to add before we go?
Yeah, fuck Trump.
Dude, that's my line. That is my line.
All right. Later, folks.
Jeez. Later, weirdos.